Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio and welcome to day 4 of the 12 Days of Christmas Quilt Block series. And this is our Christmas Cottage quilt. Block number 4 is this cute little house. And it has a tree on the side. And I think it's really cute and I hope you'll join me and we'll put this block together. So now I've got my background fabric and this is my door fabric. This is the house front fabric. This is the roof fabric here. I kind of like the look over here, so I think that would go there. And the door and the window, I think I'll put the window here and then the door maybe over here or over here. This is just the door frame. It's not going to show a lot of the background or the print in the fabric, so maybe I'll just put it there. Okay, so I've got an idea of where I want everything to go, so let's turn this over on the wrong side. And it's already pressed nice and smooth. And then I'm going to take the paper backing off, and the piece is nice and sticky. And just finger press that on for right now. And for the window, do the same thing. Take that off and press that there. And then the door frame, I'll just set this, I think I'll set this here. Okay, now follow the directions on your fusible as to how to handle this. Now this is Easy Steam 2 Light. This one is the light. And you don't have to iron this. I just like to do it. It just makes it a little bit more secure for me. But you don't have to do that. You can just press it down and then start cutting out your pieces. You don't have to press it down. But I'm going to go ahead and get started cutting out my pieces and just cutting out on the pattern lines. And on these pieces, like the roof, on some of them I drew them out with a curved edge, and others I just have them straight. So you know, you can always round those corners if you want to. If they're not on the pattern and you prefer to have all of your corners rounded off, then go ahead and just cut them that way. One of the things that I am hoping with this quilt is that you will find ways to make these unique for you. And you know, don't feel like you have to follow every single line I have on these patterns. Just adjust it how you want. If you don't like this scalloped edge, just cut it straight across. And these are just, they're patterns. They're not, and they're made out of fabric. They're not made out of stone. You can change them to suit yourself. Okay. So here's our roof. So we've got those pieces and I'm going to set this aside. Okay, the next piece, this is going to be the doors and the window frame and the flower boxes and the fence. So we've got, let's see, window frame and the door. And this one I did not put a flower box on, I put the fence in instead. So I've got these 3 pieces that will come out of this piece of fabric. So let me put these aside. So this fabric has a lot of metallic on it. It's really shiny, and it has a direction. You can see the lines in it. So I need to decide, especially with my door, what do I want to show? Do I want the lines to go vertically or do I want them to go horizontal? And I think I like the vertical because I think it looks kind of like you know, icicles dripping down. So I'm going to do that. And the window frame isn't really going to matter, so I'm just going to put them all together like this. Okay, and since this is a batik, if I didn't want the pattern from the glittery part, I could just turn it on to this side. So the door. Okay, so the house and the chimney. So now I need to assemble all these pieces together, and this is a backing sheet from a piece of Easy Steam 2, just the regular Easy Steam. And if you notice on like this piece here, the gridded side is the side that I drew the design on. That's what it's designed for. And then this is the release paper, which you could probably use that too because it has a coating on it. This is a sheet that I used when I fused an entire sheet onto a piece of fabric and just pulled it off. I didn't cut anything out of it. I just needed the fusible on the big piece of fabric. So that is what is left from it. And I'm going to turn it on to this side. And let's see, here is my pattern here. And what you can do is put this underneath and you can see that really well. And you can build your collage on top of that. Right now I just want to put the windows and the doors together, so it's not going to really matter. I don't need to follow that layout at the moment. So here is a window frame, here's the door frame, and then here's the window. So if I'm starting with the door, I'm going to peel the paper off the back, which is always the hardest part, but it's not, even at that, it's not difficult. So I'm just going to lay that down, and I'm going to actually kind of follow my grid a little bit, just to the grid on this sheet, just to help me keep things straight. And then here's the door frame, and let's get this piece peeled off. And let's get that lined up. There we go. So here's the door and the door frame. And if you notice, I'm going from back to front, so whatever's in the back, which the frame would go over top of the door, and the frame for the window would go on top of the window. So this is like the window pane. So here's that. And then here is the window frame. Just put that in place, and there we go. And I like how those branches are peeking out. Now we need to build the house. So I'm going to peel off these two pieces and stick them onto this one for now. Set that aside. And let's build the house. And just, you know, make decisions as you go. What do you want to show the most as far as their fabric? What on the fabric do you want to show? I'm going to have to stand up and lean over this so I can see better. There we go. So I got that part lined up. So there's the house front, and here is the roof. And once you get the fabric over it, you're not going to be able to see, like I can't see where the door and the window go on here, but it will help me get the main parts lined up. And here's the chimney. Okay. And of course you can move the chimney if you don't like where it's at on here. You know, move it someplace else. And I'm going to place that right there. So here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to work kind of side by side so I can see where everything is. And on the pattern I have the house over, or the door over here. I could easily switch it over there if I wanted to, but I think I'm going to just leave it the way I have it laid out. And I'm not going to press this down real tight because I've got the fence that I want to put under there, and that's going to go like right here. And I've got this side a little bit thicker than that side. I'm not sure why I did that. I think I was thinking this side was going to go under here. So I just kind of did that a little backwards. But I can always slide that over and trim it off. But I think I'll just trim a little bit of that off here. And I'm going to start on this side. And press things down as I go. And then tuck that under there. See? There we go. There's the fence. I just need the window next. And now the window's all in one piece. Decide which way I want it to face. And I'm going to line it up with the top of the door. And there we go. So this applique is all together, and now I just need to put it on my background square. So this is a batik, so it could go either side, which I don't think it matters much. Okay, on my other blocks, I am about 1 7/8 inch away from the bottom where I've placed the houses. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that and put a line, and do a little finger press so I can find my center. So here's my center. Now you don't have to center your house, which is another thing. Not all the houses are centered. A lot depends on if you want to put trees on your block, and if you do you want them to one side or do you want them on both sides? In what size tree do you want is the issue. If you want a big tree with this house, you'd want to slide it to one side and then put a bigger tree here as far as width, not length, but a wide tree. If you like the tall skinny trees, you could probably put this in the center and put something on each side. You just have to remember that you need to not go all the way to the edge, because you need 1/4 inch on all 4 sides to put your quilts together, put your blocks together. So that's your seam allowance. You have 1/4 inch all the way around as a seam allowance. Okay, so here is the block. That's going to go like right about there, and this is how wide the tree is. So this house is going to need to slide over so that I can get the tree in like that and still have plenty of room. I also want to have things pretty balanced. I've got 3/4 inch from here to here, and this is the widest point over here, and I have 1 3/4, so I need to slide this over a little bit more, and that gives me 1 1/4 inch and 1 inch. I can also slide this over a little bit, and 1 1/4 would be like right there. So that looks pretty good. So let me find my chalk pencil, and I'm going to mark, let's see, that's going to go like right around there. So 1 1/4 is right there. So you can see how this is just all peeling right off. I'm going to turn this around so I can see it a little bit better and make sure it's even. I don't want the house to look like it's tipping. Okay, so I've got 1 7/8, 1 7/8, so it does need to come up a little bit. Like that. 1 1/4, so we're doing good there. Okay, I am currently out of Steam a Seam 2 and Easy Steam 2, so I am using some Wonder Under, and I am going to make the tree out of that, tree applique out of that, and I have a scrap of one of my 10-inch squares, and of course the instructions are follow it with each particular fusible that you use. This one I just need to run iron over it just for a few seconds and let that cool off, and then I can cut it out. And this one isn't sticky. This is a dry glue, so it works differently. Okay, so there's the tree. And I have the trunk in place. And with this, I need to separate the paper, which I find with Wonder Under, if you score the paper with a pin and just crack that open and then start peeling it from there, that you get that it works easier for you. At least it does for me. We'll see if it's going to. One advantage to this is you don't have to worry about the glue sticking to itself. As far as the first tree, I had this cut out of Easy Steam 2, and while I was manipulating it, the tip of the tree hit the back and it just glued itself on there, and as I tried to pull it apart, it stretched the applique out of shape, so not a good thing. So you just have to kind of watch that. And I see my little chalk mark there. Okay, I want to move my door down a little bit, as I can see as I'm standing over it that the door isn't all the way down to the bottom of the house. So let me correct that. There we go. And this is already, it's down and secure with the pressure sensitive fusible here. So I could just set this aside and not fuse it down permanently until I'm ready, like after I get all the other blocks done, and then I want to look at everything and then decide. But I'm going to have to fuse this part down at least. So I'm going to go ahead and fuse it all down because I have done that with the other blocks so far. So let's go ahead and do this one. And there are different instructions for fusing these. I've got 2 different fusibles here. And I need my steam on. And give it a shot of steam. Here we go. Now this one, the Easy Steam, needs moisture, and they recommend using a pressing sheet. So I have a piece of muslin that I've been using, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this little piece off. And you can see some of those fabrics have bled because of the dye that is still in them. But I'm just going to go ahead and spray this down and then lay it over the house and then press. And I do have steam on in my iron. And it's 10 to 15 seconds in each place. Okay, there we go. So here we have house number 4. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.